I'm excited that Wendy Bee is with us of Wholistic Blessings. Wendy is an intuitive, psychic, healer, channeler. Probably more things that I'm missing out on this. Extraordinaire, just fabulous all the way around. And today on her Monday segment, she brings us some tips that you can all do at home. And I thought this was really important because I want people to feel empowered to change their space if they want to, change their atmosphere, really take it under control and say, you know what, that resonates with me, I'm going to give it a try. So some of this may be for you, others may resonate more than some other things. Maybe you'll even find something you want to give a try.
I'm all up for getting choice, because if you give people choices, then whether you pick them or not, that's up to you, but having a choice is the best opportunity to changing your luck or making things a little bit better.
All right, Wendy, let's see what you got today.
All righty.
So what are you cooking?
So I've got several things. I decided to bring a couple of different layers to see wherever it resonates at. Everybody has salt in their cabinet. Most of us, if we cook with seasonings and stuff, we'll have things like cloves, we'll have bay leaves, rosemary, basil. I brought all of these that are basics, because these are herbs that number one, we cook with. Number two, they have healing medicinal properties. If you go that way, you can use it from a science base, you can use it from a wellness, and then you can use it for metaphysical stuff. So in the case of salt, I'm going to start off with salt because everybody has it. You can have your pink Himalayan salt, you have some of your regular iodized salt. Now, case in point, when you have salts, I have them all here, the iodized one is usually the last of the tiers of the salts you want to use. Sea salt is very good, kosher salt is good because they're all blessed. You can bless them yourself. I actually make my own blessed salt. I'll do it according to the way that I am a reverend, so I do practice different things to kind of assist with these, to empower my herbs or whatever it is I'm using. So in this case, say that you come to your house or you come to an area and it feels a little off and you want to change up the way that it feels. You can simply take some water and add a little bit of salt, pinch, teaspoon. So you can as much as you want, but I'll say about a teaspoon. You sprinkle your little bit of salt. For me, the pink Himalayan salt, I use it when I want to add a little bit of love. It's pink, so it makes me think of the love vibration. So if I have that, I feel like there's been a lot of arguments or that kind of thing, and I want to not only settle, I not only want to purify, I want to add the vibration of love, I'll do that. So I'll add that, I'll put in another pinch of the other salt and another pinch of kosher salt, and this one's kind of coarse, so it'll take a little bit to dissolve. You stir it up, let it dissolve, and if the water is cold, it's even better. Put it in a spray bottle. For those of us who can't really smell, those of us who have asthma, we don't want to do a sage bundle or anything, put this in a spray bottle and starting from your front door, spray up. Those of us who are really into the woo and have been doing this kind of thing, if we're trying to get rid of energies, typically you start from the back of the house and move forward, spraying the house with whatever you're going to use. That's for this. Now say you want to take it up a notch or you feel a little bit more into the woo. I love to use herbs for that purpose. So in this glass that I have here, I've added some rosemary, some cloves. I've added a couple different things. Once it's had a chance, typically this one would be boiling water. So you'd want to add the herbs so that it could kind of brew like a tea, like if you were to drink your tea. Once it's done brewing, you give it about 20 minutes in that simmer, and then you simmer out and you take out all of the herbs. I was going to say it in Spanish, colar. You strain out the herbs, and then whatever's in that bottle, you can do, in that glass, what you can do is a couple of things. You can either put it again into a spray bottle, a little bit of cold water, let it cool down, and spray and use that. Add salt to it if you want. That's another thing you could do. You can add some salt.
Let me ask you a question. In my woo-ness, in my studies, salt clears negative energy.
Yes.
So you're going to clear all the negative out of your house.
Yes.
Don't you need to refill it with positive energy, or do you leave it empty?
No. Okay. You do fill it back in. This is your first. There's always you go to shower, you wash your hair, and then you wash your body. Provided that's how everybody does it. But there is a step. So you want to start off by clearing out, and you're absolutely right. Once you clear out, if you don't fill in that void with something positive or whatever it is that you do want, it can come right back. So you're absolutely right. Once you're done clearing, then you want to, either say prayer or maybe add like a sweetening type of thing. I was going to get to that on the next segment. But at some point, once you're done the clearing, then you can bring in the love vibration and stuff. That's why I brought my big hunk of rose quartz.
Wow.
But
Can I ask a question? When
Yes.
with the water, I would imagine it's important where you throw it away, right?
Well, once you're done, you can either dump it down the toilet, or you can rinse it outside of your front
Outside.
door.
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. You can give it right back to earth. You don't want to put it in a spot where the salt can kill any plants. So you do want to be mindful of that. But the amount of salt that you're adding, if you're not adding a whole bunch, should be just fine. So the other components that I have here, I have some black tourmaline. These are herbs. These are crystals that you can add to your practice to make it as simple as you want or as complex. Sometimes I will start laying out like the tea here, for example, and I will put it inside of a grid of my selenite and my black tourmaline and shungite. The shungite is going to get rid of the EMFs. The black tourmaline is going to transmute any energy, and this is going to bring in the clear energy. So you can sit that overnight, and then not only are you empowered with the herbs, the salt, now you've got a mineral component to it. Alrighty? So if you look here, I have a bottle that's made automatically with the amethyst in there. They sell these. I will add a little caveat. Some of the stones that these people manufacture and put in these, you're not supposed to put them in water. So you've got to be real careful about which stones you cannot put selenite in water. You don't want to drink that water. Here, this is okay here, but certain stones should not be in here. Some manufacturers are not aware of that. So if you drink it, there could be arsenic or asbestos. We'll get to that another time. But you do got to be mindful of, if you get something like this, that the crystal can go in water and it is something you can drink. Not all
Interesting.
stones can you.
Wow.
So besides that, I also have some essential oils. So say you want to add another layer. I've got rosemary. Rosemary is your all-purpose. So say that you want to do an abundance. Say you want to do a sweetening. Your rosemary, assign it. Intent. Put your intent on what you want to do with it and add it to your water. So your rosemary, whether in fresh, whether in dry or oil form, it's always going to be your all-purpose. It's one of my favorites, and it smells amazing. So there's that. What other components do we want to talk about here? I brought in some of these crystal grids. These represent protections and they're grounding. So you can add this also, whether you want to put it in a room, you want to add it to this type of things. It's all about layers. You keep it simple, grab some basil, boil it, use that to wash your floors with it. So you can go as simple or as complex or as layered as you want. Now, another caveat. I'm saying all of these things here. You don't have to do this. You could simply say a prayer, open up your Bible, light a candle, and clear out and offer a protection. One of my favorite ones is to put my hand in that blessed water, put my hand on the door, and say a prayer of some kind of protection, so that anything that comes in is for our greatest good, and that the door opens to release anything that's not. So there's many different ways to go. I often joke that you can empower a cheeseburger if you want to, But going back to basics, water is your absolute top tier programmable element that there is available to us. We can put whatever we want in that water. We can put words underneath it, drink the water. So there's different ways that you can do. If you're feeling a little offbeat, you might want to say, I need protection. You can say it out loud, or you can write it on a piece of paper, slip it underneath your glass, and then drink that water throughout the day. And you likely feel empowered. This is all about what? Believe. That's it.
Right.
That is the number one ingredient to any of this. Believe that whatever you're using, or whatever tool that you're working with, whatever words that you're saying, really are something that you believe. I have some people say, I don't resonate with the crystals. Then don't work with the crystals. Work with what empowers you and makes you feel not only empowered, like you've just lit yourself up. You feel good. It's kind of like I'm looking at Sally and the way she lights up seeing her grandson. That's the type of feeling you want to have when you're doing whatever these practices are. And one last thing, I brought even one of my wands here. So this one is, you can tell it's for the chakras, but this is also very, very wonderful for clearing out energies. So if you resonate with crystals, I'm scanning my body, you can do it with that too. So even these, even a straight up one of these, clear your energy out. Again, it comes down to belief. Whatever one of these tools. Then if we go into biblical stuff, hyssop. Hyssop is, what is it? Cleanse me with hyssop and purge me and make me white as snow. So there's even evidence in the Bible of different herbs that are used. Salt is used in the Bible. There are different ways to, again, bless and make holy water and that kind of thing. So think about where your traditions, your practices are, and use that. Infuse that with what it is that you're going to do to empower yourself. Do you guys have any questions for me about what I've said here?
What do you do is if you're doing all of this and somebody else in the house believes none of it, and they sort of anchor it down to make you feel like, you know, you do what you got to do, but I'm not buying in. Does that change the method of what's going on in the house?
Not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. My husband, he's like, I see what you've done. I've been married with him for 27 years. We just had our anniversary. And he's like, I cannot comprehend, and this is not my jam. He says, but I see it in work. So he supports me in that. Same thing with my son. I'm like, I don't want to ever do something that feels off. So I'll check in with them. Hey, I plan to do a spiritual cleansing in the house. Are you guys all right with that? So then I first will get permission. So that's number one. Number two, it does not matter if your person doesn't believe, but I do believe in asking their free will permission to make sure it's okay. And I'll get to that in a second. So for my husband, he doesn't have to be actively there. I'll tell him, listen, just know that this is my intent and plug in your intent however you want to. About a week ago, I needed to clear out my home, and my son was there, and he was telling me he senses the energy off. And I found that really fascinating because that's not something that my son would normally say to me. And when I started, I said, hey, you can engage however you want to. And he did his own little practice, which felt great to me because that tells me he's looking and exploring the tools that resonate for him. So he did that and felt empowered. Now, I have had clients who stay in somebody else's house like they're a roommate, and they're like, oh, my roommate does not resonate with none of this. So I told them, number one, you've got to respect that you're in their space. So secondly, if you have a room that's in this space, then you want to guide your people, your spiritual team, and respect the fact that they themselves have theirs. And you put quarantine around your space. This is what I'm doing for my space. And you can, I would say, keep it secret, but being mindful of the energy that you're in. It is the owner's house or the owner's space, so you must respect their space, you must respect their intent, but you can carve out yourself a little fortress of solitude, shall I say, within that space, so that your stuff stays in your stuff and it's kind of isolated and either one doesn't intermingle with one and the other. So it's a really good question. It is. So one last
I'm all
thing.
in on all of this. I have my sacred space. I have my sacred, I guess, altar, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
I don't know. And I don't believe in it that it's religious. For me, it's spiritual.
Spiritual. Right. It's a connection. It's a touching place where you touch, where you can, it's like going to church, but your church or your place of worship inside your home, that's your spiritual connection. It's your grounding space.
I was watching, it's funny, it's not coincidence, right? I was watching something, and in fact I even mentioned it to Steve, and it really resonated with me because they were talking just as you were. It was a program I was watching, and they were talking about saging. Because I believe in all this, but that's the key. Because they actually said that. They said if you believe it, you don't have to have it, but by touching something that you believe is going to clear energy, it will. But you absolutely, as you said, Wendy, you can do it without the actual object.
Exactly.
It's the belief system that's
when I went to Mexico, I think it was in the 80s. I'm trying to do the math in my head. And I brought back a statue. And I bought it, I went to that pyramid where you climb up and then you have
Chichen
to use...
Itza?
Yeah, and you gotta use the chain to come back down because it's like...
Yeah.
So I bought it there, and there was this guy who was all dressed up in a whatever, and And he calls me over. He says, "You want to have children?" And I says, "Yeah, we would like to have children because Michelle's biggest deal is we weren't having children. Freddie took 5 years to have." And I said, "Yes." And I brought this statue back. And he says, "Put this statue up high, and you will have children right away." And Michelle got pregnant, and Gio came along, and then I gave this statue to other people, and they got pregnant. Now the statue sits in my house with a blanket in the cupboards because I got to cover it if it's not going to be used, because then everybody gets pregnant.
Yep.
And it's really weird because now that you're saying these things, at the beginning I thought if I said this story out loud to anybody, they're going to think I'm crazy. But it's never failed.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking back, this thing, I must have had it now for 40 years.
Isn't that something?
Is that crazy?
Does Linda know it's in your closet?
She knows the whole story because I'm going to have my 6th grandchild.
Wow.
Oh, but it's working for your grandchildren.
Yep.
And so Linda said to her daughter, and I got to tell you, now comes the test because I'm going to put it in Sarah's house and see what happens. But this stuff is a miracle worker.
Yeah, it is. And I will tell you something else. Can I give you a little tidbit too? This effigy, this statue that you're talking about, I close my eyes because I'm already hearing what they're saying. It's for fertility.
Yes.
Now, when we think about fertility, we don't only have to think about it in the fact of getting pregnant. It's also fertility in the yields of what you're doing, the fruits of your seeds. So you can put it out and say, well, now we want to have bigger exposure. We want to have more money coming in for our interns, whatever the case is. Write out a word. Hey, we need some help in this area, and give that to the spirit with a little offering of water or whatever it is that you give it, if you even give it something, and ask, hey, we're trying to do this thing. Can you help us, see how this rolls out?
I bring this thing in here, and there's going to be pregnancies all over the place. That's why I've never brought it in here.
But give it its specific purpose. Hey, you've done really good in this other area. We could use a little help here, and give it some different kinds of beans. I'm afraid of doing that. I can hear
Please don't show it to Sally.
I was worried about you.
Well,
no.
Actually, I was more concerned for Linda. I said, is it in your closet?
No, we're not concerned for us. It just happens coincidentally that it's everywhere it's gone, it's worked.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to bring it in here because of all the youngins in there, all of a sudden becomes a baby factory in here.
There you
You're gonna
go.
look
Oh
at me
my
and
gosh.
say, "You gotta get this thing out of here."
Yeah, that would be pretty wild.
Workforce issue.
But the funny thing is that when I first brought it over, because I had to carry it from Mexico, and they packaged it, like my brother, may he rest in peace, was with me, and he says to me, "Do you think this is real?" And I go, "If you think it will happen, right?"
1,000%.
And that's why you can't mess with this.
No.
You can't say nothing because you never know.
Yeah, no, you can't be willy-nilly is the way that I say I approach these. That's why I'm like, let's start off simple. We can get into all of the specifics and candles and colors and all of that stuff. That's going to be a little bit down the road. So I figured let's start off at the basics. We've got the portal coming in, so we might want to kind of have a way to leverage or neutralize in case that it's too much energy coming in, or maybe we want to, ride the wave and raise it up a little bit and that kind of thing.
Now, before we go to commercial, I had seen for the portal, it's a blue-green energetic portal. I don't know, we're blue, we're green. Sally, looks like you're ready to rock and roll on this whole situation. The chairs seem good.
Yeah,
Drinks, green things.
Yep.
Yes, no, or is that just a lot of woo?
Yes, I tell you what, for me, I love blue and green. It reminds me of earth and water together, so it's the elements. For me, it's the heart chakra or the heart space with the throat space of trying to articulate from heart space authentically what's going on. So yes, if you cater to colors, absolutely, and I do. And we've got colors all over the place. Your blouse is just, for me, is through the moon for me because of all the colors and all the whimsy in it. And with all so much, if we go to the other side, there's so much negativity or so much of this other stuff going on. We need this stuff. However it resonates. For me, the flowers, the colors, the smells, all of those things layer in. And for somebody who resonates, then by all means. But somebody's going to say, I have several people who have asthma, or they're on oxygen tanks. So then the salt water spray. So just my intent moving forward, and what you're saying with the portal, is we are being asked to be as authentic, to find what resonates with us, to give ourselves, when we're preparing for a hurricane, they say get all of your things that you need, your water, all your stuff. So for me, with these types of portals and stuff, get the things that support you. Have around you the things that, if you're going to need tissues because you think you're going to cry a lot, get the tissues, whatever those things look like, and work with those. Have a little table where maybe you put the things that resonate with you, the little trinkets and the statues or whatever it is. And if you don't, and if it's a Bible, that's fine. If whatever it is that resonates for you is is my baseline all the time. Find your entry point, what feels good, and then from there, if you have a curiosity, if you have an inspiration that comes in, spirit comes with inspiration.
All right, so when you were not here on Thursday, you left a little early. I may have done some repurposing
No,
of some
I've been
things
noticing things
in the
such as-
studio, so
yeah.
I just ask you to respect what I did and
No.
we'll leave them alone.
No, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not going to say nothing until I wake up this morning and there's nobody here.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, no, now you didn't do it. You're about to give me the march about I changed things and there's nobody here. So maybe
I didn't do that.
when the Knicks were on their run, I ate a Pop-Tart back there. I'm not supposed to eat them. And they won every time I did it. Don't ask me why. Remember that? And she used to say to me, no. But here it is today. Do you want to tell us what you did?
No.
Because there's nobody here.
Well, that's...
So undo it.
Didn't do that.
I saw the lemons.
You saw the lemons?
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, how do people reach you for more information or to learn some practices?
I see what you
So they can find me on holisticblessings.com. They can find me on Etsy with the same name, Holistic Blessings. All of my socials have the Holistic Blessings. And I've recently launched a YouTube channel, so they can find me there. And it's Wendy Bee, the Light, but Holistic Blessings. So you can find a little bit of all of those things. So you can tag me in social media. You can send me a message through my webpage, my website. So.
And she's here every Wednesday with Dana Sardano, and then on Mondays for a segment of Holistic Blessings. All right, we're going to take a commercial break.
I see what you did.
You do. More to come. We're going to meet Tyler Somberg on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.